Coinbase Ventures, they invest in a lot of different projects in crypto. They have a massive portfolio of 430 different investments. And in the last year, only 8 of their investments are positive. So why are they so bad in investing? Or are most of these projects just destined to fail without users? Obviously, I don't think Coinbase Ventures is losing money. They're definitely selling something, at least allegedly, speculatively. I'm not saying anything, but I don't think they're losing money. But maybe you, as the investor, are. So let's take a look at the Coinbase Ventures portfolio. What's working? What's not working? What can we learn from that? And how can we make money from what we learned? So if that sounds good, I'm Dan, and let's dive in. Now, getting listed on Coinbase is one of the most difficult things a coin can do. It is one of the most established and trusted crypto exchanges, but investing in their coins won't necessarily make you money. And Coinbase also has Coinbase Ventures, where they invest in new projects and help get them started. So we can take a look at their blog, and it hasn't really been updated this year, and see what they've been talking about, what they've been investing in, and it's pretty light. It's very light. There were only 6 posts from last year in 2024, none in 2025, and you can kind of see why. And I think the biggest lack is demand for a lot of the things they're building or investing in. So Eli 5 explain like I'm 5. So an L3 is a layer 3 blockchain that's built on a layer 2 blockchain, which is built on a layer 1 blockchain, which lowers gas fees and increases the speed. But for the most part, even Ethereum is fast if there just isn't enough demand for it. And then they also invested in EigenLayer, which has been a pretty big flop. Just no demand for people to buy security from another service. The hardest thing to do is just build that demand in general for any of these crypto products. Now, if we go to CryptoRank, which lists all this stuff for free, not shilling, no referral link, just free data that you can access, you can see that Coinbase Ventures is one of the top ventures out there. They are a trusted tier 1 venture fund, and in their portfolio, they have the most investments. They have 430 investments that are currently being tracked, and I'm sure much more. But with that comes more risk. More investments, more risk. So that's why we can see the retail ROI, not that great at 3.14x, and the retail ROI is calculated based on the IDO, IEO, or ICO data of those projects which a given investor has invested in. Basically, if you're a retail investor, if you invested in the coin as soon as it launched, how much did you make? You can see Andreessen Horowitz killing it at a 309x, but that's tracking the last several years instead of the last year, which was pretty bad for everybody. So let's take a quick look at Andreessen Horowitz. You can see what their investments are. Their average round size is between 3 to 10 million. We jump into their portfolio. We look at the 1-year change, and their most successful investment in the last year was XRP and SUI. And I have been a big SUI fan just because the user experience is amazing compared to other DeFi products, and they continue to innovate, whereas everything after that is bad. So XRP, almost 300% in the last year. SUI, 50%. FEI USD, which is a stable coin, 4%, and then down only for everything else, where, yeah, it's bad. It gets really bad. And if we take a look at Coinbase Ventures and see how they did, Sense, which I'm not familiar with at all, and it has a fairly low market cap at $14 million. In the last year, they've gone up 110%. Fluid has done pretty well at 80%, then Euler, SUI, Orca, and then we go red. We go very red very quickly, and you can kind of see that everything in the last year has gone down 90%, at least 90%, and these are the things we want to short if possible. Now, if we look at the coins that did do well versus the ones that didn't do well, we can't really learn that much. The only thing I can say is that SUI has a good experience, that Orca is probably making money just because there is a lot of activity on SUI and it is just doing decent trading volume all the time. So what can we learn from looking at these portfolios? What kind of assessments can we make? And that assessment is most coins go to zero no matter what, if there isn't enough demand, the coin prices are just going to continue to decline. And this is just going to happen over time. And if we can short something, maybe we should. Maybe we should. Now, we're also not seeing the full coin price if the coin hasn't been around a full year, but you can see Vega, Taki, Space Mess down 99 to 98%. Eigenlayer launched 6 months ago and it's down 77%. And we can see those projects here. Now, what's really happening in the market is that there is no alt season, there's no new customers coming into crypto, and a lot of these projects are still very speculative. A lot of them are building out infrastructure for no users. So it's like going into the desert, building a brand new mall, all these successful brands that work in maybe Los Angeles, New York, Hong Kong, Tokyo, but it's in the middle of the desert. There are no users there. There is a lot of friction for people to go there. And for the most part, maybe it's not worth their time yet and it's still too early. There's just no established community there. Maybe people show up just for the airdrop, sell that airdrop, leave, and then that project dies. And that's something I've noticed, and that's why I've been shorting a lot of new cryptocurrencies that don't have those established communities, and for projects that I don't think will have that demand, at least not anytime soon. Now, the important part, how do we make money in crypto? Well, to make money in crypto, if everything is going down over time, and that is the trend, no matter who the investors are, no matter what the project is, and it's just due to a lack of demand, where a lot of these things might just be overvalued, well, we can short them. We can short those cryptocurrencies. Now, I recently made a video on top 3 no KYC exchanges, and we walked through shorting, and I think if we don't use too much leverage, it's pretty good. If I want something more long-term and less risky, I'll do a 1x short. This is on Blowfin, where you can see with a 3x leverage, I'm at 18%, not amazing. Party 16%, 3%, 10%, and this is going to fluctuate over time, but I believe these are going to follow what we saw in the Coinbase Ventures portfolio, where 6 months after the launch, the coin will be down 80%, and that is my target price on profit for these. If I can just continually lock in 80% profit by shorting these coins with no leverage and just locking in 80% at a time, I think that's a pretty good strategy. There's no guarantee that it'll be successful, but that's something I want to test, and I'm going to be making a video on that over the long term and documenting this story. Because if you've been investing in crypto for the last few years, you've probably seen your portfolio, you've seen a lot of coins go to zero, and you're just not making any money. It's just not that easy to hold a coin long term and it'll go up forever. That doesn't happen anymore, which is why I want to adapt to the conditions and short cryptocurrencies that I think are not going to make it. Nothing personal to these cryptocurrencies. I know they're making money and I want to make money too, and I think shorting is the way. So if that sounds good, I do have referral links in the description. It does support this channel. I do weekly live streams on the weekend where we talk about this, so feel free to hang out and engage with this video. Lots of things I'm shilling, but shorting has really shifted my perspective in crypto. If the market conditions aren't good, a lot of projects are just going to exit, they're going to cash out, and that means the price is going to continue to trend to zero unless the global macro conditions shift to the positive. But that probably won't happen anytime soon. And if it does, we're going to see a pump in the markets, but we're going to still see a continuous decline in a lot of these coins. All right, just my thoughts. And if this video was helpful, you know what to do. And with that, I hope you got your full value for today.